Hi, hi. Welcome, welcome. This is Joanna. Another Ascension series. We're so excited. We're so excited. We've got some great energy, really great energy coming in. I hope everybody's feeling it. We're just going to get more accelerated. And so it's really important from here on out to really get familiar with your own unique ascension cycle. And we talk about it just about every one of our classes. I'm Joanna, by the way. Those of you that don't know me that are new to our Ascension shows, we're so happy that you're with us. I've been actively on the Ascension process for many, many years, about 15 years, I guess, suppose 16, 17 now, since I came to that awakened state. And in that process of awakening, I realized many of the experiences I had throughout my whole life were a part of my soul's remembrance, and really standing in my power to be that full authentic version of who I came to be, so that I could set vibrational challenges for those around me so that they could step up into their highest and their best. And that's what really everybody that we contract with allows us to see and to take potentials of. It's oftentimes not easy because it challenges us to look within ourselves, to really reflect upon our own beliefs, reflect upon the vibrational stories that we're all brought up in, and we're all bombarded with in our social experiences. From any type of socioeconomic system has its own vibrational story through which, through time, if you will, spiral of time, there's been infusions of various parties and factions trying to infuse their own ideologies of the same concept of separation and fear and greed. And so this is why this lifetime right now is so powerful. It's so impactful, because for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we've really been evolving in a very limited cycle of limitation. And now we're taking ourselves to a really expanded version of expansiveness of who we are. And that's really through the version of the expansiveness of the soul, because the soul is all potentials that we hold to expand into these new arenas and new realms that are all of these templates of light that are kind of moving and oscillating until we, in the vessel of who we are, the micro macro, always oscillating in the vibration of a core unique vibration. Why it's so important that you go in and seek yourself. Seeking who are you as your core vibration. Most on our planet that are not aware of their vibration don't know who they are, because they haven't done that inner seeking. What is your core vibration? What is your alignment of truth? How is the power of who you are alignment with spirit? The only way to know your sense of self is to go within and do the inner seeking. Who are you in your unique story? Not mirrored by anybody else, not projected by anybody else, not in competition or in reflection of anyone else. Everything outside of you is to show you back to you, who am I in this moment? I saw that today. How did it make me feel? What was my story? It's never about anybody outside of you. It's always about you. What are the wounds inside of you? And what are they showing you? What are the experiences inside of you? What are the expressions inside of you? What are the truths inside of you? And how can you modify them to be something grander and more expansive? Your truth through your ascension process is going to change. It's going to shift. It's going to alter, because your core vibration is going to alter. The light that we're being bathed on our planet right now is a very pure and refined light. Anything that is in separation, darkness, or density will be bathed with this light. And this light will capture all of those dark energies and will just transmute it instantly. That's how powerful and refined this light is. And so anything that you are finding yourself being held back in, whether it's a cycle or an experience that you think you can't break out of, whether it's an experience that you're caught in something or you're stuck in something that you think you can't get out of, there is always, always, always the divine relationship within everything. If you think that there is something in this experience that you cannot get out of, there is. There's an infinite number of explorations on the negative side, if you will, the vibrational side that has fear, greed, and separation, all of the vibrational stories that you were brought within. Then as you align with your truth and with your story, and that's when you got to start building that sense of self. Start deconstructing the stories that you were taught and told through socioeconomic systems that were brought up through eons of subjugation, oligarchy, fear, greed, control, how limited you are, how lacking you are, how you have to give your power away to other people for other people to tell you who you are, or for other factions to have you sacrifice who you are to be a part of a group or to belong or to feel important. Any experience where you're giving your power away, where you're giving your sense of value away, where you're giving your sense of morals away, those are experiences that really are asking you to go within and start creating your sense of self again. And that's why you manifest those situations, because there's no sense of self. And that sense of self was taken and derived from eons of giving our power away to groups and parties and belief systems and governments and all of these experiences that said, you know, to feel belonging, you must do this. To feel like you're worthy, you must earn a lot of money and be like this. Those are superficial experiences that have no clue and no understanding and no value and no fulfillment of the moral and the encompassment of who you are as a soul. The soul is so vast and wide, it's profound. It goes beyond anything and all things that are superficial. Superficial is the very surface of what the ego thinks it might need and want, because based on an old story of that you got to go to school or university and get a job and work 9 to 5. That means you're valued, you're part of the community, and that it's normal, conformed, if you will. There's so many conformed ideologies, and through the process of ascension, being bathed by light and all these darknesses and all these beliefs and all these subjugations and all these densities held within your multidimensional bodies are now coming forward for you to see and for you to put on the table in front of you. What am I on this? How am I supposed to be honoring this? What is my now sense of self? And each person must do this unto themselves without projecting or simulating anybody else into their story, because it's not about anybody else. It's always about each person individually. And each person has a unique sense of pacing. No two people are going to be on the same path at the same speed. There's going to be many people that were going to jet off for a while and go do their own thing and research and do things in a different manner, in a different way. That's what their soul wants. Each soul is here to learn and to explore and express and experience different things. And that's why, well, the number one law is the right use of free will, is honoring the universal laws as we move into a 5D template. Honoring the right use of free will is that every soul is in a constant evolutionary experience. There's no outside body, no outside government, no outside party, no outside metaverse, no outside anything, no matter what it's called. Doesn't matter the words that we use, it doesn't matter. Everything is energy just popping around. If we don't know who we are, these energy bubbles just kind of conform and they kind of move and meet wherever the energy is going to. And it's usually the outer distractions that people are guided to. But that sense of self starts rebuilding that sense of power and that sense of energy and that sense of alignment, and you're nourishing yourself from within. You're reclaiming your light. You're reclaiming yourself as a soul. You're reclaiming yourself as one with the planet. You're reclaiming yourself as one with spirit. The sacred trinity of who you are, that is the alignment of who you are as spirit. And you start nourishing your allness as spirit. That means you're not dissecting your energy or fragmenting your energy to outside things to try and sort out who you are, because you're doing it yourself. And that can only be done as you partner and you align with light. You can align with light and ally with light, and that will be our 4th book, is the beautiful and the beautiful sacredness and the journey that is your own ascension path, and how your alliance with light is the resolution of anything that you think you might be stuck in. Because it's just from the perspective of consciousness that you're holding that says, well, I've got to keep going around on this cycle. The mental viruses that say, I was told I'd have to do this. I belong to this committee and they say I have to do this. I belong to that friend and they say I have to do this. And all of these outer stories have nothing to do with who you are within, that you get to choose and decide. Nobody chooses and decides for you. Your story is your story. And your story is about your birthing. Who are you? What stories did you come within? And know that the stories that you came within, whether it be religious, financial, socioeconomical, subjugational, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter what the stories are, because we all have to clear them. Every single person on this planet has to clear those vibrational stories. We each come contracting, knowing that I'm going to clear this for my family. I'm going to do that for my lineage. I'm going to clear that for my ancestors because they did that for me. And it's constantly a negotiation of energies that we've all created through time. And as we're clearing away these little particles of darkness and density, and we're rotating through who am I now? Who am I now? Who am I now? You get to choose who you are with spirit. And spirit's constantly showing you who you are. Spirit is your guides. Spirit is your soul. Spirit is the soul fragments that you're harmonizing into a new version of you. Spirit is the trees. Spirit is the soil. Spirit is the water. Spirit is the air. Spirit is the omnipresent in all things, all beings, all people. All things are spirit. And as you awaken, you'll start to feel it, because spirit is feeling, is the sensation. And that is why our society is so sick, because we've forgotten how to feel our sense of self. Who are we? When you know that something feels wrong, it feels wrong. And you're not going to move into stories of where you're normalizing the demoralizing of another, or the devaluing of another, or the limitation or fears of another. You're not going to join parties and groups where they're normalizing violence because of some sort of tradition. No, you're setting forward new rules. You're setting forward a new story. You're setting forward new truths for you, and you get to do that with spirit. That's why you're here. You're not here to follow anybody else's conformity. You're not here to follow a tradition that doesn't feel right for you. If that tradition doesn't feel right, speak it, know it, put it as a truth. That's your new truth. And it's going to change as you expand into new grounds of, wow, that's new. Wow, that's new. Your truths are going to change, but you will always be in alignment of who you are as spirit. Spirit's going to guide you. You might have, and this is why it's so important to understand your ascension cycle. You might have in your ascension cycle an opportunity as part of one of your soul themes, because you'll know what your soul themes are, whether it's your soul theme to fully explore the vibration of control. Your vibration of control can take you on all sides of the control experience of being controlled. Usually if you're here to control others and you want to have that experience, you're going to also be in experiences where you will be controlled, because that's what your soul wants to explore. You're going to want to explore it on, say, the fifth dimension of Sirius, this dimension of an old timeline that you must heal and clear. So to be a master and to know how to navigate controlling experiences, you got to be all sides of it. You got to experience it, and you got to know how to get yourself out of it. And there's always opportunity. You are never ever stuck. You're never ever stagnant. There's never ever experience you can't get out of. You can. It's choice. The infinite is available based on the consciousness you hold. Consciousness is your expansiveness to know that you're all things. Everybody around you is all things. Everything around you is your manifestation of your vibration. So what are you seeing around you? Are you seeing a world in limitation? Are you seeing a world of light? And as we posted on our social account the other night, I placed 3 things that I had observed. And those 3 things that I had observed were exactly directly related to a wound that I was healing with regards to divine feminine subjugation and abuse. And those were the energies that I was clearing for the collective, because as a conduit, I'm coming forward and to help the collective release divine feminine subjugation. Part of the rebalancing on this planet, and why we have universal laws, because they go right back to the very fundamentals of our universe and creation. The ideas of electrons, neutrons, and protons. Everything must be in balance, and everything is all energies and micro, macro of each other, of itself and within its environment, and what it's being catalyzed with. Light. Is it being catalyzed by negativity? Where is it sitting on that balancing scale? There will be those that will be catalyzing together because their vibrations are similar. And everything in the universe is perfection. Now, if you're finding that you're being triggered and it's got to be competition, I got to be over here, then again, you need to go within and work within those competition values of lack of self. In every moment, you're perfectly where you're meant to be. So if you're constantly working and getting worked up about competition, not being good enough, not being this enough, not being that enough, there are absolutely deep wounds that must be healed. What is your sense of self? There is no competition. It's an illusion. That idea of competition is the lack of self that says, right where I am is not okay, because I want to be over here. But to be over here, you got to be okay with everything here. You cannot get here without everything here. You just can't. Spirit will not allow it. There are checkpoints on every level, on every stage of creation. There is. There are threadings of vibrations, and it's a beehive. It's a beautiful vibrational beehive. It's a vibrational beehive. And there are threads and threads and threads and threads and threads of your vessel, of creation, of the next universe, of the dimensions. You have to enjoy being here and sitting in it. What did you create? Sit in it. Because if you sit in it, you will see why you created it. What wound were you working from? What belief were you working from? What were you projecting out to creation for creation to show it back to you? And then your ego reacts on it because you don't feel good enough, or you don't feel like you belong, or you don't have values. So we're going absolutely within ourselves to say, no, what's going on in our reality? What are my values on that? And how can I recreate a new value system for myself? Because I want to change what's going on. I want to have my kids walk in a place that they feel good in. They feel good within themselves, because outer is inner and inner is outer, as above, so below. And if you're not appreciating this place right here, you're not appreciating that, you're not appreciating that, you have no idea how to value yourself if you're not appreciating exactly every step along the way. You will not be able to appreciate this point where you're out into a new body. You have to appreciate everything. Anyone that goes through a disease or an illness, they absolutely know when they have healed that illness, they absolutely know they feel grand appreciation for their process. They know exactly that they had to go through those chemotherapy, and they had to know, and they had to rebuild themselves, and they had to rebuild their whole identity, and they restructuring of their cells in their body. They would not want to miss any part of that, even though it's tough as hell. When you're fighting the demons of the dark shadow, and you're fighting the demons of those that want to throw black magic of you and just don't want to stop because they're not willing to go within and sort out what's going on within them, and they just want to throw hate and anger because they don't get what you're talking about, that's okay. That's okay. There's going to be those that won't understand you. There'll be those that will. Those that don't understand you will start to vibrate and harmonize around those that want to understand whatever game they're playing. That's okay. Everything is perfect in between. Everything is meant to be where it's meant to be. It's all perfect in between. So being present and appreciating exactly where you are, you're going to get the fullness of that lesson. And Spirit will say, yeah, you made it. You're ready to go on the next ring of vibrational learning. If you're not getting the lesson, you're not getting why you're there, why you created it, you cannot move up and out. You just can't. There are vibrational checkpoints. There's vibrational checkpoints for those that understand and use energy benevolently, and those that don't use energy benevolently. Your guides, you have teams. You have 3 to 10 guides on every person in this planet. 3 to 10 guides. And you're meant to follow your soul's unique soul blueprint. Your soul blueprint is not like anybody else's. You can't be connected and attached and have the clinging energy that you want to have to somebody and follow your own blueprint. What's your blueprint? Who are you? Forget about hanging on to anybody else. Who are you? Who are you? Don't cling to anybody. Don't rely on anybody. This is you and God. It's about you and Spirit, you and your teams, you and your gods, you and your soul. Do you know how vast your soul is? Your soul can take you out of anything. Your soul has infinite lives, infinite gifts, infinite wisdoms that you wouldn't want to attach to anybody. Why would you? They don't know your story. They don't know where you've been. In my case, there were those that thought they would look into my astrology record and show, they would try to investigate and research who I was, and they would try to get into my destiny and my soul timelines, and they would try fooling with them and messing with them. And they thought they could adjust them and thwart them and warp them and do whatever they were intentionally doing. There are checkpoints on every vibrational scale, every intention that you have. If you have an intention to heal a toe, if your toe got hurt, you have an intent, I'm going to heal my toe, I'm going to heal my toe. The alignment of who you are as Spirit, your knowingness of who you are, creates your reality. So if you are wishy-washy in who you are because of all the vibrational stories that you've been told, and you're fragmented everywhere because your religion says this, your social school says that, this says that, this, and your energies are everywhere, you're not harmonizing who you are, then your energy is scattered and you create scatteredness. You're all over the place, and those scattered energies create and attract other scattered energies, and that's how you manifest scattered and chaos and conflict. This is why we must always go within. It's an inner job, it's an inner role, it's an inner thing, so that nobody touches your story. Nobody can thwart you and change you and say, hey, go here, hey, go there, hey, go there. And that's when manipulation occurs. Because there are those that seek those that are wishy-washy and flow back and forth and don't have a sense of self. So now each person is responsible for going within and being a sense of self. All of us have had moments of wishy-washy because we've all had traumas. And when you have a trauma, you're not knowing yourself because you're busy healing that trauma. But then you get to realign, okay, wow, I just let that release go. Now what did that teach me? What did that release teach me? Well, it taught me that I can sway on all areas of the pendulum and I can always return to center. That's what Ascension is. It's moving through the highs and the lows, never getting stuck anywhere too long and coming back to center. I am Spirit, I can transmute this. I'm going to choose a new story now. I'm going to choose a new story. I'm going to be less wishy-washy. I'm going to be more wavering in who I am as light. I know that I can waver up and down as light. I can waver up and down as light, but I'm never going to go outside my story as light because I'm infinite, I'm eternal, and I can change my reality. And that's a knowing, just as your name is. somebody comes to you and says, what's your name? You absolutely know your name. So if you know your name as well as you know your name, because that's your name, and why would you want to lie about it? That's your name. That's your name that you were given. It's a vibration that spirit knows you. All creation knows you by your name. You will be known by your vibration. You will be known by your light, your name. Your name is light. Do you say your name in light? What does your name hold for you? And work with it every day. It's a sacred journey. You're meant to explore all vibrations and navigate. That's how you become a master. So we wanted to talk about really getting excited and getting really intimate with who you are, and excavating, really getting excavational energies about who you are and going within and not being afraid of that. Not being afraid to go within, sit with yourself at minimum of 30 minutes or more every morning before you head out for the day, before you get entangled with other people's energies. And those of you that are empaths, those of you who are just awakening within your gifts, you're going to want to absolutely maintain your pillar of light, maintain your sense of center, your sense of self, grounding your sense of self, because as our planet is going to be bathed with higher and higher light, it's going to mean that people will become and feel more scattered because they're not taught the basics of energy. They're not taught the basics of who they are as light and how to ground and harmonize all their soul fragments. So they're not so scattered, and grounding the soul harmonization and grounding their soul energies, because some souls that come here are very, very big. But if their energies are scattered all over the place, their life looks really messy and chaotic. And that's when they start really choosing poor choices, because they're usually following the stories and the energies and the vibrations of other people outside of them. They're not knowing that pure alignment of sense of self. You cannot take your sense of self by any other outside force. Your sense of self is what is designed by you, through you, for you, right from within. It's the core vibration of who you are. And that is the inner seeking, the inner knowing, the inner doing of the work. The inner doing of the work is your ascension cycle, and are you excavating it? It has nothing to do with anybody outside of you. Anybody outside of you is just those triggers that are meant to excavate the stuff that's going on within you. And why you can't move through ascension unless those checkpoints are met. If one is not doing the work, you will not move forward and out and up. You got to do the work. And doing the work is, what am I moving through today? What really bothered me today? Let's pull that wound up. Let's deal with this. Let's excavate this. There's lots of great juice stuff in there. The other day, I was having this release about something I didn't even know I was hanging on to, and it was from like other timelines that I remembered. Many children being held in very captive situations, sexual captivity. Many other timelines that many of us have been on, and we're healing as a collective, just as Divine Feminine is being healed for her subjugation for many, many eons of not being held as creators and intelligent beings and people that really truly care about the planet. And we're now coming forward to rebalance our planet, and that's part of the rebalancing that's going on our planet. We're all micro, macro, but Gaia, she also has her pendulum, and she's been doing so much work to keep us in balance because we've been so on this side for so long, that she's called in reinforcements as of 1987 to bring in multiverse reinforcements to help her rebalance the negativity that we had bred on her planet. And we're all coming forward from various galaxies and various planets and various timelines to really be the higher vibrational information and wisdom that we need to understand that every aspect of life that you see before you, to the smallest grain of sand, is vibrational and is sacred in all ways, and it holds very sacred balance. So if energies are projecting their own private agendas and throwing the entire skew of creation and evolution out of balance for private greed and control, those entities only feed off greed and control. So how do you detach from the greed and control mental viruses? Because all it is just a mental program. They're just mental viruses. They're illusory. And those energy illusories feed off energies. They feed off greed and control and the stories you run. That's why it's important. Who are you? What stories are you running? What belief systems and what vibrational stories are you clearing for your family, for your lineage? And clear the karma. If you're not clearing the karma, you're just going around in cycles, and you still keep going around on the same cycles. Those are continuing the same vibrational cycles, and you're going to continue to attract that. But Gaia's been doing her best to balance, because it's been so out of balance. One cannot have a balanced planet if only the planet knows of Divine Masculine's perspective, being run by Divine Masculine. And then Divine Masculine gets warped because it's overworked, it's overused, it has warped understandings and precognitions and ideals and notions about what the divine masculine is. It has to be powerful and carry guns around and blast things up and blow things up and be very aggressive and be very, cannot show emotion, cannot be intuitive, cannot be a healer, cannot be wise and intuitive at the same time, must be powerful and controlling and nobody get by me, and I'll own everything and I'll be the best owner of everything and subjugate people and control people, whatever those notions are about the old warped ideologies of divine masculine. And of course, they're very exaggerated. But if we take a look in our world right now, what balanced, you know, really benevolent, loving, masterful leaders do we have that are masculine, that are allowing other masculines to know it's okay to be this beautiful, intuitive being? You know, what roles divine masculines have that emulate that? The masters that are no longer with us, and masters that are coming forward right now. There's beautiful channelers and beautiful divine masculines that are showing that feminine side, that balancing of the feminine side, to be intuitive, to start and break conformity, to choose to express themselves in very divine, feminine, creative ways, as Jesus did, to be balancing of their male and female frequencies. It's always the balance, balancing your divine masculine and your divine feminine so that you are balanced. If you're not balanced in your energies and your chakras are not balanced in these energies and the wounds that come out, to balance this, to balance that, to balance that, and you're not doing your reflection work, you're not doing the inner work, then you will be an imbalanced person, through which you will cause and create for yourself psychosis. Because the energies on our planet being bathed will continue to get more refined and more purified. So if you're not healing what comes up, and you're not dealing with that wound as it comes up, and you're able to, because if it's coming up, you're ready to deal with it. If it's coming up and showing you what your shadow energy is, whether it be competition, envy, jealousy, those are shadow energies. And if you're not calling it what it is, and you're not claiming it what it is, and you're not healing it, then that will cause psychosis, because the whole vessel of you can only take so much suppression. Suppression is not dealing with it. You're suppressing it. You're suppressing the shadow. And the shadow saying, no, I'm going to come forward. I'm being bathed with light. I'm going to come and show you this is what needs to be changed. And if you're not changing it, and spirit is showing you got another cycle to heal it, are you going to heal it? Are you going to claim it? Spirit keeps giving it to you. There's always going to be a cycle where it will show itself to you. And if you're not claiming it, you're not healing it, then you cannot move on that next rung. Because you got to claim it. You got to own it. You got to say, wow, why did I feel that way? I'm going to create a new sense of self, because I don't want to feel jealousy towards anybody. I want everybody to rise. So healing those wounds of competition, healing those lineage wounds of less than or greater than. We're all one. We're all one. We're all needed. We're all one. We're all reflections for one another. It's all good. We're all the same. We're all the same. Doesn't matter what color skin, what preference. We're all the same. We are still children of God, source creator, the one. And we as humans have packaged everything that is source creator, proton, neutron, electron. We've all packaged it in different names and different definitions and different titles, and it's okay. It's good to honor that. But now we're bigger and better, and now we're out more expansive. So we're going to come up with new vibrational ways to heal ourselves, because we're multidimensional beings. We're not going to be put in a tiny little box. Anyone going through a multidimensional imbalance mentally is not going to be put into a box and says, this is your one diagnosis, because I've got 10 boxes clicked. Check, 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 check. Okay, so this is what's wrong with you. How can we ever define a soul that's going through an ascension process, that's healing 10 timelines and very deep psychosis, trauma, or childhood abuse, and say this is what's wrong with the person? We can't. We simply can't box people in definitions like that anymore. And this is what's really exciting, is that each and every one of us get to bring our skills and our gifts and our talents forward. And we are the healers of the planet. We are the creators of the planet. We are writing the stories of the planet. And we get to say, this is who we are now. Let's try something different, because what was working is not working no more. Because we see ourselves as greater whole beings. We're multidimensional souls. We will need to be healed as multidimensional souls. We're going to rewrite the book on psychology. We're going to rewrite the book on psychiatry. We're going to rewrite the book on healing. And each and every one of us has a part to play. Each and every one of us is important and valued and honored. Make no mistake about it. You don't think that God has a plan for you? And I say God, I mean God in the most rich, benevolent, undeniable ways that you can ever imagine God being. God is here, there, everywhere. God is in you. God is everything. God is all things. And when you have those moments where God talks to you, you are brought to your knees, because everything within you is just changed forever. And you know why? Because when you acknowledge and you claim that there is a God beyond anything that you've ever heard or been written about, and many of you will have triggers, because many of you have had very debilitating timelines and debilitating experiences in which the thwarted and warped understandings of what God really is was broken into dialect and separative definitions and sects that were very controlling and fear-based. And that's not the God that is. God would never provide you a free will opportunity to create what you wanted to create an awakening moment or not awaken. That's unconditional. That's how much God loves you. You are loved no different than someone that is a master. Awaken 10 times over. There's no difference in love that God has for you. That's why you're here. If God did not love you, you would not be here in the physical body that is spirit right before you. And anyone that tells you that God is a blasphemous God and God will damn you if you do this and God will damn you that, no. The karma that you experience is because you're choosing not to see yourself as full as you truly are. So you got to experience something to wake you up. And sometimes it comes at a great cost. Sometimes people will go through such damage and destruction before they wake themselves up to say, wow, maybe I can choose something different. Right? It's the love of God that brings you exactly where you are. You got to choose it. You got to claim it or not. It's always free will. It's always free will. But don't damn another person. Don't damn another person because they want to evolve. Don't damn another person because their path is different. Don't damn another person because they want to explore and they want to break codes and they want to break conformity. Let them break conformity because you're going to be on that path next month when you finally wake up and say, wow, I guess I can move on this path now. And it's going to be a little easier because they broke the codes for me. And there's been so many that have done such great work in many millennia before us. And it's up to us to honor that now. What are our values on human life? How have we normalized violence? How have we normalized being separate? How have we normalized our bodies being ill with disease? Because that's not normal. If we're running in the story of who we are as spirit, our bodies will be of no disease. Our bodies can be youthful forever. Start working with your body as a youthful experience and an agent of spirit. Why not? Who said you can't? Where are these rules that say you can't? They're not. It's an illusion. It's a story, a vibrational story. You can choose. Done. What story do you want to release right now? Take a deep breath. Body, heart, mind, and soul. I'm calling in the divine orders of who I am. The divine order of who I am is my soul. I'm calling in my soul, please, spirit. I'm harmonizing all soul fragments, all aspects of my heart, mind, body, and soul. I'm calling in all aspects of me, light, energy, and power. I reclaim all my energy, light, and power. My consciousness belongs to me. There is no being, no entity, no group, no nothing that can touch my consciousness that is untoward, that is different than my path of choosing, that is not of my own choosing, for my soul and my higher self and all that I am chooses my path. For I walk with spirit. I am spirit. I am my higher self. And I call all that I am into this moment of now. Now, now, now. I choose for me. I know who I am. I know my name. I know my vibration. Because I do it every day. I do it 100 times a day. And I work with spirit in this way. And when I work with spirit, my voice changes because I got lots of spirit in me and my soul is becoming of many beings. I call my soul forward to work with me. Soul, come on up and work with me. And all these versions of your soul start coming up through the center of you. If you so choose, it's always free will. You get to play with this. This is what I mean about your unique path is unique to you. How you call spirit in for you is how you work with spirit. And each person is different. Each person is going to take, some people might take a bit longer because they're not used to it and they're new at it. And then once they awaken, boy, it's really easy for them because they feel and they remember the multidimensional click of how to work with energy, how to work with the energy of God that transmutes everything and all things. That's the love of God that God has for you. God is not a being in the sky that's separate from you. God is all things in between and things that are not seen and unseen. And the things that we think are not God is God. The things that we say are questionable is that's God. The gods that we think is not God, that's God. It's all God. Those that we label the devil and the demons and the whatever we want to put titles on or whatever we want to say is separate. They're just words that we use so that we can understand our reality. The words that we use to understand the old dialects of good and bad. It's all needed. They're just moments of experience. So get easy on yourself. You have to go through all moments of experience to say, I'm whole. You can't deny yourself being great and being whole if you're not acknowledging all parts in between. You got to own it all. It's not a pretty ride, but you're going to absolutely honor it when you're at the end of it. And at the end of it means there is no end. You're going to go, wow, that was a great day. I honored this about myself. I honored that about myself. That wasn't easy doing that, but boy, I did it. I was pure of intention. I said it real. And I took a chance, and I took a risk on something I wouldn't have done yesterday, but boy, I did it. And you give yourself those daily challenges to take yourself outside the box, break the pattern, break the mental virus, do something different, and boy, you started a new reality, because you're not on that same cycle anymore, the mental ring that says you can't, that says you're being judged, that says you're not valued, that says you're whatever all those other limitations are. And we all have millions of them, each and every one of us. So you're going to rise, you're going to navigate, and you're going to excavate who you are. Pull out those excavations that say you can't because you can. Pull out those excavational stories that say you're less than because you're not, you're more. Pull out those excavations that says you can't, but you will. Anything that is an excavatory, a shadow moment, and you got lots of them throughout the day, pull it. Stop your reality and pull that shadow moment. I felt really weak in myself. I promised myself I was going to do something really exciting today, and when I got the chance to do it, Spirit offered this chance to me, and I pulled back because I was too afraid. I'm going to get it tomorrow. I'm going to be okay. I got this. I'm going to do it tomorrow. At least I'm recognizing that, wow, I'm so much farther ahead than I was yesterday. And give yourself those celebratory moments. Celebrate yourself, because that's the path. That's how you learn to heal the inner child. You don't want to bully your inner child. You want to heal the inner child and say, oh, I did great. Because when you're bullying your inner child, you're going to bully people around you. You're going to bully the universe, and the universe will not concede to your bullies. The universe will show you bullies. So you got to be in love with who you are and be gentle with who you are, and know that you're doing the best that you can. You're going to catch yourself when you're moving through those expansive moments where you want to test yourself, those expansive moments where you want to behave in different ways. You want to behave in a 5D way. Really bring those creative juices and those creative experiences through yourself so that you can start challenging yourself. I'm going to take a risk today. I'm going to tell the truth in every moment that it's offered. I'm going to bring myself to a new level of love by honoring myself when I do not take that risk, and I'm just going to be gentle with myself and just take 5 minutes and just remember how loved I am. And I'm going to heal the inner child that really wanted to take that risk, because that inner child wants you to explore and to experience. That's what the inner child is all about. That inner child is your best friend. So is the shadow, because that shadow is just all those times that inner child was just beat up and bullied by stories and vibrational stories that your family took on, you took on, your social society took on, that didn't really match with that spirited child that you were. Or maybe that inner child was abused. Maybe that inner child was molested. Maybe that inner child was raped. Maybe that inner child was beaten. It doesn't matter what that inner child went through, because it's a traumatic story. You got to excavate every part of it, the beginning, the middle, and the end. Because you're going to want to do that. You're going to say, wow, I really did that. That took courage. And that's what true self-empowerment, that's how you wield and yield that self-empowerment, and you alchemize. You got to excavate those deep and wonderful parts of you. And they're not pretty when you're going through that release, but that release will only last a couple of minutes. And it's so worth it. It's so worth to pull out those darkest parts of you and have that release, and lift your knees up gently as you're releasing and you're crying, because those deep trauma wounds sit within the deepest part of your chakras and your cells and your organs. So as you're going through those really profound releases and you're crying, like I had the other day, and I was holding on to something I didn't know I was hanging on to, and I just pulled all that energy up from the deepest part of my chakras that I was hanging on to from other lifetimes, even transferred from my mother when I was in the womb. And you choose to do that at a soul level. That's how profound your soul is. We're going to find out so much about medicine and healing in the years to come, because we're so far advanced, and how we entangle through quantum entanglement when a mother gives birth to a child. There's so much there. There's so much entanglement that's so very special, that we can do so much healing that's even far beyond what we can understand, because source is everything. God is everything. And we say God again, beyond all imagining, that's never been written before. Because now we're going to rebalance our planet, and we're bringing divine feminine up. And divine feminine's perspective is a whole lot different than the divine masculine. And it's all needed. It has to be balanced. Divine masculine and divine feminine all working together cohesively. Balanced. Balancing each other's energies, balancing each other's worlds, balancing each other's earths. And it doesn't matter if you're in the same sex relationship or not, because each party has their role to play, and each party will be healing their own divine masculine and their own divine feminine that we all come with. And sometimes you're going to want to talk about it and be there for one another. I'm going to play this role today because I need to heal this for myself. Can you be there and support me? And have those honest conversations. It's not going to be easy, but this is what the collective is faced with, because we're being more nurturing and intuitive and honoring of ourselves, and we're bringing value back. We're bringing self-love back. We're bringing self-honor back to who we are as divine, benevolent beings. We're profound beings of light. But if we're not honoring that light, we're not supporting one another in that light, and we're not showing each other how to do it, and we're not being that supportive cycle and circle for one another, then we're really letting ourselves down as a collective. That's why we've really come here. It's a profound time that we all chose way before we got here. We've been practicing for this for many, many lifetimes, and no entity or body outside of you can thwart your path. There's nothing more powerful than you in spirit. Nothing. When you work in alignment and in alliance with spirit, and that's my book number 4. Your alliance with light, your alliance with God. There's nothing that can thwart you. That's why I'm here today. It's because of my alliance with God, spirit, way beyond what has ever been written in any text. And I say that all the time because there's just nothing. We don't have human words for what spirit is for you, because it's different for each person. It's meant to be. I can only express it and explain it in the words that we know, but they're just not words. The words have vibration, and we get so excited because that gets you through anything. There is the threading, you and spirit, the kundalini, it's you and God. And you need those energies outside of you, those catalyzing neutrons and protons and electrons. You get to see all fractions of it. You get to see the whole chrysalis of who you are at any one moment. You get to say, no, spirit, this is who I am right now. I really want this, spirit. I want to be this with you, spirit. I want to express this with you, spirit. I want to explore this with you, spirit. That is pure intention, my dear friends. Nobody can thwart that. They might not like it because it's a weird and strange vibration. And that's what gets them triggered, because they're feeling within themselves there is no creative flow and connection with spirit themselves. That is the expression of separation. It's there. You just got to go in and look for it and seek it and feel it. It's a feeling. But those mental beliefs and those mental viruses deplete the sense of self, and they degrade the sense of self. They demoralize the sense of self to say, you don't have spirit in you. Who do you think you are? Of course there's spirit in you. Your body is spirit. Your cells are spirit. The nucleus of every cell is spirit, is God, is the universe. The universe is inside every nucleus. That's how connected we are. You can activate your body into spontaneous healing right now. Now. That's your threading with spirit. That's how powerful spirit is. And you will be tested every time you have that new ascension cycle. That's why we say do the inner work. Know what your ascension cycle is. Every time you're on ascension cycle, and it will usually occur within the cycles of a week or a month, because usually a month, because that's when we transition time and moon cycles and water cycles and air cycles for your evolution. That's what our collective has always been, creating our understanding of time has always been on the cycles of calendars, but that will dissipate because we're coming into now time. This is why it's going to be really, really important. Deal with the wounds, because time is evaporating. Time is evaporating. We're all coming into one timeline of love and unity and peace. And we're all here to support one another for whatever one needs to see in any one moment. Just face it. Boy, I just didn't act that good today. I'm really sorry I did that. I was acting from this vibration. I was acting from that vibration. I really went within. I'm doing my healing. I'm going to do my best, right? I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try spirit. That's all spirit wants. But if you're going to continue the limiting cycles, that's okay. God, you'll be loved, and you'll have those that are with you on that cycle too. Because spirit will always make sure you're going to have people with you to experience, and spirit guides with you to experience what your soul really wants to experience. It's not anybody to judge anybody's soul plan. You have no idea what that soul is doing for creation and exploring its own soul's plan. It doesn't matter how it appears to anyone, how dark it might be, or how different it might be, or how unique it might be. Those are words that label and curate separation. So release definitions as often as possible, because you're only limiting yourself and all others for the potentiation that is infinite. Our words truly limit us, and I've said that for about 8 or 10 years now from our radio shows. And that was even how most of our wounds got instilled within us when we were younger, because we were told things and we were shown things, and we were like, all the ostracization and the ways that people look and see us. And we felt, wow, it doesn't feel like I'm safe to express myself if that's how people are looking at me and treating me. Boy, I don't feel safe in my environment. And early development shows that a child is most safe when it knows that it can take risks, and it will be supported, and it will be loved and honored and valued. And we've absolutely separated from that because we haven't treasured the most sacred expression of who we are as spirit. Our body is the expression of spirit. Every cell is spirit. Your cells vibrate as spirit. That's why sound and light language is so profound as healing, because your cells remember sacred sound. Your cells remember the sacred vibration that is spirit, that oscillates within every cell. So make no mistake about it, dear lighted ones. Excavate who you are. Go deep within. If you want that true loving companionship, you must be truly loving and in companionship with you in spirit. And spirit will find you the one that is equally balanced and matched with you. It's impossible to find that match for you if that's something that you truly want to experience without finding the match with who you are within. Can you match yourself and own your shadow in any moment that you're showing it and expressing it? Or do you continue to suppress it and pretend it doesn't matter, and you put another mask on to think that you're someone else, and you portray yourself as someone else to the world while you're not claiming who you are? And those are really deep things, and that is the journey, and that's the sacred experience, but it's so very loving and empowering. You pull out your true self-empowerment. You say, yeah, I've worked through it. I'll face anything. And then spirit says, great, we're going to put you on this journey. How do you like that? It's like, wow, okay. And a whole bunch of new gifts open up to you. There's always checkpoints, dear lighted ones. So sit back into the understanding. When you really understand universal laws and you understand how the universe operates, how space is put together, space is put together by the science of vibration. The science of vibration is a harmonic experience and intuitiveness of Holy Creator. Again, beyond what we know. And you understand space in and of itself, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, then you'll understand and start to begin at the very slightest, at the size of a pinhead. What we're talking about is how space is arranged. Space is arranged on vibration, and we are now taking our planet Gaia into a new vibrational space within our galaxy. It's been a very long divine plan of sacredness. Not a point has been missed. Not a person on this planet will be missed. There'll be nobody left out. Every soul is unique. Every soul has its unique path, and let go of everything that you think you're connected to and detach from everything that thinks you must be here, here, or here, or start defining yourself and limiting yourself and putting yourself in those egoic boxes and start demoralizing yourself and putting yourself in all of these time frames and experiences and expectations, because that's not ascension. That's ego. That's a mental virus. Your ego is exhausted. Let it go. Let it go. You're meant to be exactly where you are. Take a deep breath. Ground your body. My body is ground. Another deep breath. I'm calling in light. I'm calling in spirit. I'm calling in light. I'm calling in spirit. I am a divine being, and I choose in any one moment. I know I'm able to experience who I am. I know my higher self and my soul is going to call forward, because I am one with spirit. I'm one with all creation. And I'm going to show myself in any one moment where I vibrate, where I sit. I am a compass, and I get to choose where I want to vibrate. Do I feel good right now? Return within. I'm feeling really happy. I'm feeling really excited. I can't wait to do light language. I can't wait to do light language. I'm feeling my feet upon the earth. I'm excited to be me. This is my story. Thank you, Spirit. And it might sound silly, and it might sound crazy. It might feel like you're a little kid again. And then, my dear lighted friends, and she says with great pause, that's the point. You're meant to feel like children again. Because so many of you have had childhood that you have been given stories that are not yours. You've been passed down stories from eons of experience on this planet and other planets that you've meant to transcend, because you've all been held in separation and subjugatory stories of less than and greater than, not equal to, separate, 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 different, separate, different, separate. In exhaustive amounts of ways, this is how you are so profound. The vibrational stories that each and every one of you have taken on, that have said you're less than and lacking and you're different and you're this and you're that, all of those definitions are so overwhelming. Clear them. Place them on the table before you and clear your fields and your bodies. Through deep breath of light, call in light. I call in light. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I call in light. I have guides that are working with me. I have healing teams that are working with me. Any energies, any entities that are not in divine benevolence of my highest path and my own truth, I get to choose my truth. I am one with my consciousness. I am one with love. I am one with light. And I choose to release these entities now. Now, now, now. They don't hold control over my emotions. They don't hold control over my thoughts. I do, I do, I do. Let it go. And see the sword of Michael cutting all the cords from around your field and all the vibrational entities that thrive off your fear, your worry, and your anxiety. Cut the cords, cut the cords, cut the cords. And take a deep breath of white light. My body and my fields are bathed with white light, bathed with white light, bathed with white light, bathed with white light. Shake up the vibrational field with sound, entities and beings not serving my highest light. Bathe my field with holy light. Bathe my field with holy light. I am a Makatake, she lion, a Makatake, and a Makatake, lion, nine, a Maya, the Kate, the game, Malaya, the Kate, the game, Mala, like a Maya, the Kate, the gay. I and a Makata the K and a Makata the Asian and I had the K. Feels good to be free within your own vessel and your fields. Hi and a Makaya the Asian. Break open your throat chakra. I speak unto myself. I speak unto my cells. I am glorious. I am beautiful. I am sacred. I release any and all blocks along my chakra systems. I call in the highest white light, please. Speak with loving commandment. Your cells require that from you. I am Makai to show honor and love to your cells in your body and your vessels. I am Makati. You hold yourself high, dear lighted ones. You walk with great purpose. You walk with great vibrational excitement about who you are. Feel the excitement of who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Your excitement will see and look and feel different than another's, and that's meant to be. Be as unique as possible, dear lighted ones. That's you. And it will come naturally. It will come innately. And who cares what others around you think or feel, because they're going to be doing it in 2 weeks from now, 2 months from now, because you're setting the vibration for them. Go within. Allow them to level up. Allow them to sort out their life. Allow them to sort out who they are. You're here for the sorting out of you, the excavation of you. Who are you? Why are you here? What exists within you, dear lighted ones? Who are you surrounded with? That's your environment. Are you affecting it positively or negatively? Who are you? Don't you want to know who you are? Where'd you come from? Come from many places. The world knows you. The forest knows you. Everybody knows you. Your vibration. Don't look to anyone for this, dear lighted ones. Who are you? These are the excavation questions, dear lighted ones. Take a deep breath. There is a divine mother and a father, dear lighted ones. Dear mother and father are always with you, constantly with you, dear lighted ones. You have guides that love you. You have beings that love you, dear lighted ones. Enrich your body with the love of who you are. Enrich your environment with the love of who you are. Own who you are. Be the joy of who you are, dear lighted ones. Your soul is vast and profound. Your soul has information and wisdom that only you can use. This is your path. This is why God put you here and placed you here as your co-creative agreement. I will be with Gaia. I will be one with Gaia, and I will feel the energy with Gaia. I want to heal with Gaia. I choose to be different. I want to feel everything. And you know you're rich with spirit. You know you're rich with spirit. Why? Because you can feel it. That's what that means, dear lighted ones. What we say has meaning. What we say has vibration. Are you rich in spirit? And that's how you know, dear lighted ones, when you look to your children and your children are happy, they're rich in spirit. Because they feel it all. They're keeping it in balance. Because they're expressing themselves. They're not suppressing anything. They're expressing themselves. They are playing. They're expressing themselves. They are in their own light. Yes, this feels good. No, that doesn't feel good. I'm going to navigate this way, this way, this way. Expression of who you are. Your story is your story. Stick to your story, dear lighted ones. Discern with great feeling. Does this feel good for me? What is my vibration now? That's what I want to create. That's what I want to create, dear lighted ones. Choose who you are with excitement and vibrational alignment. That's how you create your reality, vibrational alignment. So, lighted ones, how do you feel now? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel grand and special, dear lighted ones? For we all see that in you, of you. For we are aspects of you, your ancestors from many timelines and many beings and many realms and many consciousness that you have no idea that you belong with. We are one with you and we support you dearly. We're excited to see in this next cycle how you will all arise to your highest intentions, dear lighted ones. What are your intentions? Set forward this truth every day, if you so desire. At the morning time, if you will, when your day begins, what are my intentions of being in alignment of who I am? For I am that I am. The sacred song of mantras, I am that I am. Your selves will remember this, dear lighted ones. Your selves are your best friends. They are your intuitive gateway to your own healing, your body and your systems within systems, the micro macro of who you are as spirit. Speak to your body as spirit, dear lighted ones, for if there was a master before you that you honored so greatly, would you talk to the master any differently than you talk to yourself? We want you to question this, dear lighted ones, for you have been brought up in societies and knowings and religions that say you must degrade yourself before those of you that have been masters, that are you. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? The masters are you. Why are you here? Because you're a master. You're remembering this, dear lighted ones. Who are you? What is your remembrance? Go within. Aya makaya te ke na mai and na ke and aya te ke she na aya na makai ma e te kan na te ke sia ma a aya te ke that was fun. Thank you. I always get hot when I channel. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. There was many beings, galactic community that was there celebrating us. Thank you. Thank you, galactic community. And we just wanted to just finish off with some beautiful sacred sound. We love you so very much. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And these are the energies and the beings that are with you now and future now ones. We're so excited. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. And I am Joanna. I am a conduit. I'm a vessel of the divine and the holy sacred Christ. Thank you, Holy Christ. And the Christ consciousness is not defined by any words. The Christ consciousness is our vibrational, metatronic experience of who we are as infinite light, eternal light. And we have access to the eternal light and the infinite light. We're so very grateful for everyone watching now and future now moments. You're all very sacred beings and you're all sacred children. We love you so much. And even though you may feel at a sad point or at a depressed point or at an overwhelmed point, just know that your breath and your calling in of light, and knowing that you're very, very supported. The universe is a universal truth. The universe will support you in whatever vibration you hold. That's why it's so important to discern who you are. What is your story? How do you choose the universe to support you? You cannot be putting out negative energy and have the universe support you in a positive way. The universe will always support you in whatever it is that you put out. And that is how you know that the universe is listening. So if there's something in your life that you're not happy about, that you feel stuck or wasted within, then look at the vibration that you're holding and returning to the universe, because it's supporting you in exactly what you're vibrating at. So it's listening to you. You just need to change the story now if you so choose. But you're loved anyway. Spirit, Mother, Father are within you. You have a conversation when you are in a peaceful space and you call upon the mighty heavens. I call upon the mighty heavens. And dear lighted ones, we say this with great pause. Any alchemy that you choose to release from your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul, anything that's been bothering you as a trauma or childhood abuse or anything that you wish to transcend, must be done from a state of pure loving intention. And to know pure loving intention is not at the mind level. It must be done through the heart. And why getting connected with your heart, getting in touch with how you feel, getting in touch with your emotions and allowing your emotions to simply flow, maintaining balance, meaning that you're not going to allow yourself to be sad and depressed for too long. Allow your emotions to flow, just a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Give yourself that 15-minute cry in the morning. Gather yourself together and say, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to process this pain. I'm going to write it out. I'm going to journal it. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to sing it. I'm going to dance it. And then I'm going to realign myself to a higher vibration because I know I can do it. And I'm a very powerful master to move through those dark emotions. And we're all showing you, dear lighted ones, the shadow within you are just the wounds that are aching for you to call it. There's nothing negative and there's no negative connotations. Each and every person on this planet is moving through a collective healing, the collective healing of what has been separation. Separation includes various shadow energies like jealousy and envy and lack of self-worth and demoralizing and normalizing violence. They're all held within crimes of the soul. Again, we say to you, if there was a master that you so belovedly love and that offered you such unconditional love before you love them, would you talk to that master the same way that you talk to you? For that master is linked with your soul. Make no mistake about that. And so take these honorings that we offer freely to you through the passionate heart of this channel. She loves so dearly to offer the teachings that she has learned through the times of transmuting negative and toxic energies, dysfunctional energies, traumatic and abusive energies, through the many timelines that she has been on, many realms. And she offers them to you in these videos freely for the mass awakenings upon planet Earth. And we offer them to you through the mother and the father of the conduit of this channel. For the mother and the father love you so very dearly, and we love you so much, children. We just love you so much. Be a part of this family of love and joy and oneness. You're each having a beautiful effect on this planet when you open your hearts and let go of what you thought you were judged on as in. You're always loved. And even if you're judged for a moment or two and you're laughed at for a moment or two, or you're even scorned or pushed out of your families, or you might lose everything, or your families push you away because they can't understand you and they don't want to understand you and they're angry at you because you're moving away, or you're leaving them because they don't understand your path, you're doing the greatest act for them. For they're going to be waking up soon and they're going to be wanting to do similar things to follow their own truth and their own path in their own unique way. And you've shown them how. That they will always be loved. The universe will always support you. And the universal laws are there for your manifestation. And to honor them, for those universal laws are there for your own benevolence and your own stretching out into creation in a safe and loving way. You will always be held benevolently as you use the benevolent laws of light and love and oneness. And your reality and your universe will show you exactly where you're vibrating at in all moments, dear lighted ones. God has an infinite number of ways to show you exactly where you are and who you are. So judge not those before you, for they are the mirror to what is the acceptance of who you are within. Accept that you're great, accept that you're honored, accept that you're all worthy of healing and you're all worthy of being valued. And ask yourselves with great discernment, dear lighted ones, of what you see as normal. Violence is not normal. To see children in great suffering is not normal. To see a planet in great suffering is not normal. To see cities and worlds and countries departed from one another through anger and greed and resources and controlling of that. That's not normal. You've created the normalization to it, for the ego doesn't know how to resolve it. And it's been an experience for eons. For ego cannot resolve these issues. It's done exhaustive trying. It's time for spirit. Soak within spirit, dear lighted ones, and spirit will soothe your ego and your exhaustive bodies, the illness and the imbalance that you carry. You must face the wounds as they come up, dear lighted ones, or it will cause greater pain as the energies accelerate. Be peaceful with yourselves, dear lighted ones, for you're all doing the best you can. Nobody's taught you these things, and many opportunities through channels like this and other beautiful channels that are channeling the understandings of energy, the understandings of the inner workings of the universe that each and every one of you will be seeking within as without. As above, so below, you will see that it is all one. And as you honor yourself as the universe will honor you. Yes, it will. For you are the universe in the making. You're just remembering that, dear lighted ones. And we're so happy that we've come to this gathering with you here today. I am and many of you will be setting examples for those of the leaders in your community to come forth and be a part of this experience with you, for many leaders in the community are seeking ways to learn and grow more, for they are awakening too and wanting to do the very highest and the best for their communities. And so be patient and be honoring of their questions and their sacred time with you, and show them your highest light by being patient and honoring, for all are valued and all are moving about this path in the best way that they have been shown and taught. And so express and share love, dear lighted ones, for you're all families and brothers and sisters in the eyes of the Creator. I shishana nakata the kate and a cut by the cane and a cut the kate and a cut the ice is yana nakata. Syrian Council, thank you. Syrian Council. Syrian Council of 12, thank you. Syrian Council of 12, thank you. We're so grateful for all of you being with us today. We're so grateful for this channel to tune in with us. We're always with you, dear lighted ones. Many of you have come here through many timelines and through which you call portals. These portals will be known to you in different ways, dear lighted ones, for they mean different things to each and every one of you that chooses to be a part of the portal experience. And tune into your higher self, dear lighted ones, for your higher self will show you when you're ready to experience portals. And portals, again, through each and every one of you can be different and meant to be, dear lighted ones. They're a part of the gift from the Holy Creator to show you how very vast you are in experiencing creation in beautiful ways. Portals can be healing opportunities. Portals can be ways that you can communicate with all worlds, and all beings are so happy. And these portals can be very beautiful. And know that there are portals of great love and great honoring and great substantiation of information that you are one with the universe. These portals are manned and operated by the benevolency of the Creator. And these portals are great love. There's love for all of you. Thank you. Thank you, portals of light and love. Thank you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Grateful. I'm not thinking of Makai. I'm just telepathically talking with them if there's any more messages they wanted me to bring forward, if there's any other. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. They're reminding me that they're just showing me images of the sacred vessel of who we are as matter. And this is really wild and really incredible. The first time it's ever been brought forward. If you can imagine, when we say body, we mean our physical body. So if you want to imagine it that way, our physical body is the representation of Spirit God, the representation of beautiful, holiness of spirit that's been brought together cell by cell, the DNA threading, the magical majesty of who you are. And in this, you are the representation of sacredness. And so to honor yourself as a vessel of light and a vessel of beautiful spirit, your body is beautiful and sacred, every part of you is beautiful and sacred, is key for the sacredness and the transmutation and the transformation of future times for you. So it's really important that we see our body as a vessel of spirit and start nourishing and valuing our bodies, seeing all those around us and see them nourishing their bodies, see all those outside of you that are suffering, see them nourishing their bodies, seeing them come into alignment of the sacredness of their body. So they're showing me a grand version of Spirit God in the mother-father body, the androgynous body of the mother and the father as one. And the body is the sacred spirit and the human light, harmonized through all creation, through all planets, all worlds. I can't explain what I'm seeing right now, but it's just if you had this androgynous, beautiful body vessel that was matter and cells and bones, and this matter cell body before you, androgynous, the mother and the father, is us. We are replications of the mother and the father, androgynous beings, and that's what the fifth dimension will be more for us. It will be more androgynous. We're going to find ourselves exploring the various beliefs that we've held about preferences and our own sexuality, because many of us have been, for eons, so much abuse through various warps and adaptations through sexuality that have been warped and ill-informed misunderstandings about our own sexuality and who we are. So there's going to be lots of beautiful exploration, and why our children are the forerunners of this. The gender neutral, binary, non-binary, all of these beautiful experiences. That these children are so advanced in really going into those explorations of who they truly are. And again, nobody and no being and no consciousness has any right over to who, over, or manipulation over who you are or the path that your body and your soul chooses to take. And so just honor it. There's always a divine intervention when there are beings and energies that are overstepping the boundaries of free will. There will always be divine intervention, but you have to be the one that calls on it. Call on divine intervention if you feel that you are being manipulated or thwarted upon, and you will always be supported. And that means standing in your truth. You gotta go through that test. Do you know who you are? Are you standing in the truth of your consciousness? And you will always have divine intervention to thwart out any energies that are taking advantage of you, that are taking any energy from you that is not theirs to take, and sending those energies and entities back to do their own work. Spirit knows most of those beings have been given many, many opportunities to do the work and choose to continually take from others. And it's just easier for them to take from others than to do their own work. And that's okay. That's a part of the process, but divine intervention can assist you in separating yourselves from those energies until the vibrational levels are equally matched and you're receiving. You're not meant to go through. One of the biggest lessons that I learned in my whole experience of abuse and trauma and being taken advantage of, and the various mind controls and the manipulations that had gone on in the various multidimensional ways, mentally manipulated, emotionally manipulated, vibrationally manipulated, taken from, so much that had occurred over the many years, many lifetimes, was that this experience on earth, we're not meant to be 24/7, 365 in depletion of who we are. It's not meant to be a game of, oh, golly, barely making it through today. Oh, I just can't get out of this negative experience. That's a cycle that's meant to just come and go and pass. You're never, ever meant to be in a constant cycle of degradation, of having to fight and be a defense for your own light, for your own life. You're not meant to be in continual defense about your own beliefs. You're not meant to be in continual defense about what you're meant to express. You're not meant to be in constant defense about your own expression of your uniqueness. You're not meant to be in constant defense about owning your light and expressing it and having a different way of life. You're not meant to be in that constant struggle of defense. And that's when you absolutely know that your environment is being manipulated, that your energy and your beliefs are being manipulated to fall in alignment of a controlling energy and entity, because it doesn't want to see you in a new way, because it's having trouble with it being in itself in its own way. And it can be a group, it can be a collective, it can be a government, it can be whatever you think it is, because there's many factions that act in that way and behave in that way. And that's when you just choose your own story in yourself, and you're allowed and you're meant to break out of any energy or cycle that has you in constant defense of just surviving. You have the right to your expressions. You have the right to who you are as a spirit. You have the right to see your body and know your body and be your body in different ways. You have the right to say no to abuse. You have the right to say no to manipulation. You have the right to say, no, you're taking my energy, no more. You have the right to say that work is mine, it's not yours. You have the right to say that you have earned your light. I have earned my light. I have been here many times. I've earned it. And I'm not stepping down, and I won't silence. And that's why I've gone through the test that I have, to know my story inside and out, threaded backwards and forwards 10 times over, 100 times over. And Spirit will support me. And there has been blogs, and there's been messages, and there's been many things that we have produced and we have sent out there that Spirit says, you need to put this out there one more time. Kind of last chance to get off the fence, because this is your last warning. And those are words right from Spirit. And you will be blocked. Any more taking, any more thwarting, any more black magic, any more whatever that might be that people want to throw me off or silence me or do whatever they want to do, they will be blocked. There are always checkpoints, and there are infinite beings and legions of light that will protect those that are innocently evolving. Those that are innocently ready to say, no, I want to live this way of life. I'm tired of the dense beliefs. I'm tired of the fear. I'm tired of the defending myself every day of my life. You're not meant to live like that. And you can choose to step out of those systems and just press that little tiny button that says, I'm done with that energy. Done. And Spirit will support you. but you must know it as thy name is. So be done with the stories of depletion. Be done with the stories of having to defend yourself. If you have to defend yourself every day in who you are, what you express, and how you express it, if you have to defend yourself, then you're around the wrong energies. And it's up to you to choose to step away from it. It's up to you to choose to disengage, to not invest anymore, and allow all those energies to work it out, just as you're working yours out. It's not an us and then thing. It's you choosing an environment and nourishment that will honor you and who you are. If you're not being honored, discern to step away, because nothing is worth sacrificing your sense of self and your designed story with spirit. And it's okay that other people won't get it. It's other people that people won't feel it and they won't understand it. That's okay. You're one of the ones that's breaking free and creating a new catalytic movement of energy, because we must continually evolve. And that continually evolution is going to be different. You're going to have a new cycle where you're going to be experiencing something totally different. You're going to express yourself so different. And that's going to be okay. And they're going to say, wow, she's different today. That's right. We are evolving into 5D. 5D will not look like 3D. We're going to change. We're going to shift. We're going to sound different. We're going to look different. We're going to start dancing more. We're going to start behaving more like children in the most benevolent, loving, creative way, because that's the expression of spirit. And that's how we rebalance eons of suppressing our creative intuitiveness. And our gifts are going to start coming on, where our ascension systems are going to be in a direct alignment of the gifts that we're activating, that we're here to wake up our planet and say, let's go. We got stuff to do here, people. We got great stuff to do here. And each and every person is required. Each and every person is required. Each and every person is required. You're a unique piece of the puzzle. You're required. You wouldn't want to take anything from anybody else. You wouldn't want to copy anybody else. You are required. You are important. Never forget that. So own it. Who are you? Own thy name. Heal thy name. And know that you can. Reach out when you need to reach out. Be brave enough and bold enough to seek professional help when you need it. If you're feeling mentally cluttered, mentally unclear, mentally imbalanced, then own it and claim it, because that takes great courage. And seek out the professionals that can help you. And be okay to be your own best advocate. You know, you don't have to take anyone's diagnosis of you. Look into it, research, be your own best healer. You can call in the beings of healing that can help you. This is being sovereign. This is taking your own doctrine. This is taking your own story and your own story of who you are as spirit. Then you start carving your path. That is energy, dear lighted ones. You are carving your path with vibrational intention. That's healing thy name. You're not falling in alignment of vibrational stories that don't feel good for you. Does this feel good for me? No. Okay, I'm out. See ya. And be okay to see ya. Be okay to say bye. That's not working for me. It's total disrespect and disregard for my boundaries. You shouldn't have to say no 100 times. No means no. Door's not open. Door's absolutely closed. Not open. No means no. You get to set the standard. And so does every person. And teach this to your children. You get to say no. You get to be okay saying no. What feels good, what doesn't feel good, and own your emotions. Journal and express yourself and align. It's a constant evolution and alchemy. You got this. We are the creators of our illustrations. We are the creators of our teachings. I don't have a boss. I don't have a partner. I have never been asked for permissions about my work. And we're going to keep saying it because that's the truth. That's what it is. I am Joanna. I am a conduit, and I've been working in devotion to spirit, many timelines, many realms, many planets. And I am a Christic being of holy light, coming to remember myself as a sacred songstress, as a sacred singer. I'm working on my book number 4, and I'm so happy to be a conduit on this planet and a beautiful sacred being of light, a crystalline children that has much hybrid DNA. And I'm ready to create with you, dear lighted ones. I am a beautiful angelic being from many, many different star systems and different universes. And I've come to be this whole version of who I am. And I am an example, if you so choose to express yourself and see yourself as 5th dimensional, that you can also too operate as a soul. A soul is an experience of who you are in many ways, in many realms of bodies and forms and experiences and wisdoms and intelligences that you harmonize in now. However, if the wounds are not healed, that harmonization of now becomes very challenging and difficult and can be experienced as psychosis, just as one example. There are many other examples. That's just giving you one example, because that's what your terminologies in your psychiatric arenas understand that word to be. However, it's a little bit different than what you know it to be, because you're now just learning that you're all multidimensional. And we all wish to see yourselves as that way, if you so choose. And that will help you feel a little bit more normal in your multidimensional encasing, for there is no new normal now. The new normal is just allowance and accepting it all the way. Allow and accept it, allow and accept it, allow and accept, and hold on to nothing. Detach, detach, and allow. We hope this finds you in great peace, dear lighted ones. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dark councils of light, signing out now. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Our donation button is below. Anybody that wants a private session with me, any other healing activations and light language activations, we're so happy that you're with us. My name is Joanna. Once again, dear lighted ones, I'm so grateful for you to be with us, and the Holy Mothers and all the Venus beings from across our creatorhood and our Venus creation of beauty and joy and benevolence of all systems of light. I thank you so much for all of my Pleiadians, all of my sisterhoods, and my beautiful Venus sisterhoods. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for joining us, dear lighted ones, and we love you so very much. Be easy on yourself, be gentle on yourself, forgive yourself all the time. Forgive all others all the time. We're a family of one. Go in and excavate who you are and love yourself wholly. You're meant to be here. You got a great role to play, and know that you can and you will. Bye, dear lighted ones. We love you.